Hey guys, I wanna talk to you about the in-game shop. We're gonna check out every single tab and what has how much value, what should we buy and what shouldn't we buy. So let's start off. This first tab right here, mains recognition, there's just everything that is featured and everything they want to sell to you right now. So we start off with the tab, the teller machine, and check out what do they sell here. Now, the first thing that we have to do to understand the value of these packs is the exchange rate. We gotta understand how much clear drops are one Unilock, for example. As if you check this pack out right here, the rookie offer, then you can see that they will give you 1360 clear drops. What you have to know is how many Unilocks that is though. And so you go to the to the pawn shop, to drop counter, and here you can see that you can exchange 180 clear drops to get one Unilock. Now, to figure out how much value this pack here, the rookie offer, would have, you would have to do the math and figure out how many Unilocks 1360 clear drops are. I did the math, that is 7.5 Unilocks. Another thing that is very important that we have to understand is how much does one Unilock cost us? And the answer is $1. For $1 you get one Unilock. Those are the two key informations that we have to understand moving forward. Now we can check out the first two packs here. First of all, we're gonna take a look at this pack called Gold Collection right here. So let's do that and let's see what we get. We spend $1, we get one Unilock, and we get a little bit of Sharpened Bounty and dust that is required to level up our characters. Would this be a good deal? Yeah, that would be decent, because we get this one Unilock for $1, and that's already all we want, but we get more in forms of Sharpened Bounty and a little bit of dust. Now, you would generally never want to spend money on stuff that is grindable or farmable in the game. You can spend stamina and you can grind Sharpened Bounty and dust. So that is something that you are not after when it comes to you spending actual real money. But this pack is alright, especially for new players. They can make good use of this because you already get the one Unilock for $1, that's all you want. And getting an additional Sharpened Bounty and a little bit of dust is alright, that's a deal you could totally make. Now it gets a little bit better when we look at this pack Rookie Shopping Day 2. Because here you can see $1 again, and we get one Unilock. That is already worth. Then we get candy. So stamina instead of dust and Sharpened Bounty, which is much better, as you can now choose what do you want to farm and how do you want to spend this stamina, what do you want to spend this stamina on. You are not locked into Sharpened Bounty or dust. You can also get insight materials or stuff that you need to upgrade your resonance, etc. So already pretty good. What makes this pack here very special though, and why I would recommend, especially for a new player, to absolutely buy this, is this here, Departure Snapshots. And this lets you pick one out of 3 possible 5-star characters. And those 5-star characters are pretty good. We can choose Yenisei, who is one of the better 5-stars in the game. You could even argue and say Yenisei, as of version 2.6, is the best 5-star in the entire game. So that's very good for a new player. Then you also get to choose Bekornblum though. And Bekornblum is also a top tier 5-star character, as she is viable and comes in very, very clutch in the Reveries of the Rain gameplay mode, which is the hardest content currently available in the game. And with Bekornblum, you have a really good advantage in some of those stages there, as her ultimate is very, very unique, and it makes your opponent, one of your opponents, not be able to use their ultimate ability for 3 rounds. That is super clutch and even kind of necessary in some stages to apply this to your opponents. So that is very, very good. You could also choose Ulu, but yeah, you shouldn't. She's not good enough. Yenisei or Bekornblum is what you would choose. And therefore, yeah, you should definitely buy this, right? The value here is definitely there. Now is where things get interesting, because if you look at this rookie offer, I already mentioned that they don't give you Unilocks, they give you clear drops. So you would first of all have to figure out the exchange rate. We did that you have to know how many clear drops, how many Unilocks these clear drops are. In this case, that is 7.5 Unilocks, 7.5 Unilocks is that. But you pay $10, and this is where the problem arises, because 1 Unilock, $1. So for $10, you would need to gain 10 Unilocks and not 7.5. So they package this here with what most players would consider useless materials, such as Sharpodonty and Dust again, but also these inside caskets. That would save you stamina, as you would not need to grind these materials out, but you can instead use this casket to obtain the inside materials that you need. But again, you don't want to spend your money, the $10, you never spend any money on materials that are obtainable, grindable, farmable in the game. So 7.5 instead of 10 Unilocks is not good enough. And yeah, these materials for most players are very, very useless and do not make up for you missing out on 2.5 Unilocks. For new players, that might be a little bit of a different story, and it might be actually justifiable buying this pack. But would I recommend this personally? No. So now we take a look at one of the best offers, not exactly the #1 best offer, but one of the best offers that this game has to offer, and this is this pack for $20 here called Initial Summon Pack. What it does is it gives you 20 Unilocks for $20, and yeah, there's a little bit to talk about here, because this doesn't look impressive. It's just 20 Unilocks for $20, right? There's nothing special about it. And still, as I said, this is one of the best offers in the entirety of this game. And that's very, very lackluster, and that's why I don't like how in this game the shops are set up. You don't get discounts, you don't have special offers, there's nothing cool, nothing hyped. You can't most of the times even get a pack like this. You cannot straight up buy your Unilocks to pull for something. They always increase the price by making it artificially more expensive, as they give you stuff that you don't even want, you know? All you want with your money is Unilocks, but no, they reduce the amount of Unilocks you get by putting in this trash here that most people don't even need anymore. This is everything only gathers, not even really gathers. It is only justifiable if you want, so for new players. But veterans like me that play from day one or play this game for a year or over a year, we don't have good offers here in the shop, like pretty much ever, you know. The only exception was this Roaring Month at the 1.5 anniversary, but yeah, and the Roaring Month in general is also a pretty good deal, but that's about it. And then, yeah, now, of course, the amount of value that people put onto money is different per region, per person, right? It depends on each individual person. Like, for example, would you say, hey, one Unilog for $1 is too expensive? Is it way too expensive? Is this cheap or whatever? And yeah, my personal opinion on this is this heavily overpriced. Because look at it, I do look at it like this. If I spend now this $20 for these 20 Unilogs, that gives me 2 10 pulls. And the probability, the odds of me obtaining absolutely nothing from these 20 Unilogs, from me spending $20, is very, very high, and it's very, very likely for me to get absolutely nothing. So it is kind of equal to flushing these $20 down the toilet. And yeah, I absolutely hate that for that reason. So yeah, but yeah, different people would look at this differently, right? For me, that is way too expensive. So yeah, see, this is like one of the best offers, and it doesn't stop here, it gets worse, because you can only buy this pack here once per month. So if you would buy this, right, for $20, you gain 20 Unilogs. If you want more Unilogs though, you have to overpay. Let me give you the perfect example of what I mean by that. Here, the offer of the month. It's a pretty funny name. Let's look at it. $25 for 10 Unilogs and 1,800 what are these things called? Clear drops. 1,800 clear drops, and yeah, it equals to, this is 20 Unilogs for $25 though. So this is overpriced. You go clap minus $5 here compared to this offer, which, yeah, this is very, very rare. So you can only buy 20 Unilogs for $20 once, and then you have to buy, if you want another 20 Unilogs, you have to pay $25, you know? Like, that is not cool by any means. And yeah, I mean, would I recommend this? Yes. For this very simple reason, as this is the best offer. There's barely anything better than this. Everything else is overpriced, even more than this. Like, yeah, I mean, they set the prices, and the prices are what they are. So considering how they set the prices in Reverse 1999, this is a good deal. This is one of the best deals in the game, as I said multiple times by now. So if you want to spend money, if you want to buy something, this is one of the best things you can buy. And for that reason, I would recommend, if you want to buy something, to buy this. So there are multiple of these packs. Here again, see, you have to do the math. 400 clear drops and 1,500 wilderness things. So you spend, always how you approach the math is you spend $3. That means you should obtain 3 Unilogs. That would be the deal, right? A good deal considering the price in this game. So do you obtain 3 Unilogs? The answer is no. 180 plus 180 is 360, so you would only obtain 2 Unilogs for $3. Now you still have 40 clear drops and these 1,500 wilderness shells. Now the wilderness shells, such as the inside caskets and stuff, are completely useless. Why? Because you can simply see, like, first of all, the wilderness shells, they don't even do much to begin with. You can buy stuff for the wilderness, and the wilderness is very, very low when it comes to value. So you don't really need these wilderness shells for anything. And you can obtain them by doing daily tasks and weekly activities. So you would even get them for free if you just wait a little bit. So in other words, they are completely useless, and this pack has pretty low value, as you don't get this one Unilock per dollar that you spend. Easy as that. So looking at this tab, recommended. I would actually highly recommend you, especially for new players, to buy this Rookie Shopping Day 2 pack and the Gold Collection. Those two are pretty good and would be $2 in total. That is reasonable. Now if you want to spend more, then yeah, let me first of all show you the number one best offer in this game and the best bet for your buck. We go to Endless Supply and we will find the Roaring Month subscription. Here for $5 you get 2,700 clear drops, 300 crystal drops and a whole bunch of candy. That is like giga value. That is by far the best bet for your buck in this game. Nothing else comes remotely close. You just have to keep in mind is that you don't get this straight away. This is a 1 month subscription. These 2,700 clear drops, they come to you in form of a daily pack of candy and 90 clear drops per day. And then at the end of the month you will have obtained a total of 2,700 clear drops for $5. That is by far the best bet for your buck. This is the best offer, and I would highly recommend to everyone to have a Roaring Month active at all times. That is $5 per month, and everyone should be able to spend $5 per month for their hobby if they play a gacha game. And yeah, right, that's that. Of course, you can stay free to play forever. Everyone can do whatever they want, right? It's just a recommendation, nothing else. And yeah, let's check out the other tabs, like this Rookie Shopping Festival. Here you will see there's another pack. You spend $15, you get 10 Unilocks, and you already know this is not a good deal. Now you can still check out the other two items that you get. So let's do this. Use this to level up a 6-star character to Insight 3. We already figured out that the Insight materials are farmable, are grindable, and they are not worth any money. And to get one 6-star character up to Insight 3 for $5 is not worth it. Sure, these $5 that you spend for the 6-star character to Insight 3 also include a 5-star character to Insight 3. But yeah, 5-star characters, I mean, we barely use them, let's be honest. So it's not, the value is not there because you don't obtain this one Unilock for $1, and yeah, that's about it. That's how you approach the math. Then we have Event Mall, and there's another pack I want to talk to you here about. This Decathlon Ripples on the Water pack. This is, again, this is $11 for 10 Unilocks. Already not a good deal. You go minus $1 here. And it gets even worse because this Decathlon is only usable on this one very specific banner called Ripples on the Water. This is a Euphoria banner. So in order for you to pull on this banner 10 times once, you have to spend $11. Like, yeah, you don't want to do that, needless to say. Especially right now, you don't want to do this because you know that the two characters that are featured on this Euphoria banner with Medicine Pocket and Melania, you can choose one of them for free in version 2.7. So yeah, I mean, you know, this is a huge bait. Like, don't fall for this kind of crap. That's all I want to say. And then, yeah, it even gets mean because you can see this thing cost $10. This is a materials party is what it's called. It's a pack. You pay $10 and you see 3 different selections here, and you choose one item of this selection that you want to obtain, which is very, very bad. If you could obtain a Gluttony and a Crystal Casket, we could, like, there would be a little bit of an argument, but even then this pack would still be bad because again, every time if you spend money on this game, what you aim for is Unilocks, and you spend $10 and you get 0 Unilocks. Nope, you don't want to do that. It's really as easy as that. Even though, sure, like Gluttony is a pretty high value material in this game, HF polarization would be a very high value material in this game. Key of thought, very good stuff, right? Very good material. But again, spending money and up $10 and not obtaining a single Unilock, no, hell no, it's just that easy, right? Otherwise, like, why spend money on this game? You would only spend money on this game for Unilocks to pull on characters, or if you wanted to, on garments. So that's about the teller machine. Let's move on to the garment shop. And here in this garment shop, yeah, that is a very, very simple tab, as you will simply see skins or garments, how they are called in this game, and they simply change the looks and the animations of a certain character. This one is for the character Willow, and if you would now want to check out how this actually looks, you can see her here. This is how this garment would look in game. Then you can click here on play, on this play button, and check out her animation, her incantation number 1. Look how her incantation number 1 and 2 looks like, how her ultimate looks like, and her voice lines and stuff. Everything you can see here. And then you make the decisions for yourself if this is worth $10 to you or not. That's simply how it goes. Then we have the tab Miracle Mart. And yeah, I would call this the biggest scam tab. Let me call it like that. So what you have to do here, you have to buy a whole other resource called, let me see how this is called, Glowing Strand. So there is a garment here, for example. There's a garment, and this is a garment for the travel scrapbook. Let's talk about this Berkornblum garment. This costs 1,360 glowing strand materials. Now, how much money would that be? Let's check it out. You go to Echoes of the Rain and to Glow House, and here you can see how much money would you need to spend to obtain 1,360 glowing strand materials. And the answer is you would buy, yeah, like the most value, if you want to do this, it would be the pack for $15 here, which gives you 1,960. You only need 1,360 though. So if you would buy this Berkornblum garment now for these $15, you would still have 600 of these glowing strands left. That would equal to $5. So this Berkornblum garment would cost you $10. Would that be worth it? Absolutely not. Why not? Because if you look at this, the quality of this character, first of all, this is only a 5-star and only usable in very specific stages. Then, if you check out the quality that this garment has, is this worth $10? No. Why not? Because you would obtain yourself for the same price a garment of much higher quality and for a much better character. So there's no way to possibly justify buying this Berkornblum garment, no matter how you look at it. Unless, of course, if you are like, oh, Berkornblum is my favorite character in this game. I love her. I play her a lot. Even though she is like not the best tier, I don't give a shit about tier list. I love Berkornblum. This garment is absolutely gorgeous, and that's why I buy it, right? Sure, absolutely go for it. Whatever increases the fun that you have with this game, feel free to do whatever you want, right? This is your money, your decision. Everything is cool, bro. Like, I also bought a garment for the character 6 for $10, right? No issue with that. Do whatever is fun for you. And yeah, additionally, we have this scrapbook. Me personally, I play this game since day one. I logged in for over every single day for over 1.5 years now. And how often did I take a look at this travel scrapbook? Twice, maybe. Once or twice, right? So yeah, this doesn't matter to me. It's right? It has no value to me at all. I never look at this crap. But this might only be me, you know. Again, if you enjoy this travel scrapbook, you take a look at this on a regular basis and you enjoy how this one here looks, like, go ahead, you know. So yeah, for these garments, for these different looks, I can get behind why people would like this and why people would spend money on this, right? I wouldn't judge. What I would judge you for, though, take this with a grain of salt. I'm just joking, right? But yeah, let's do a little bit real talk here. Is this portrait? This is a profile picture here in this game, and this costs you actually real money. No matter how expensive or cheap it is, it doesn't matter. It costs you money. That's the fact. And a profile picture that looks like this for real money. I mean, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. But, right? And then, yeah, here also you spend money for these inside casket that you can grind in game. No, like, don't do that. Like, I cannot advise you to do this. Again, general rule of thumb, if you spend money on this game, get something that looks cool or get you unilogs to pull for characters, and that's about it. Like, don't get a profile picture or materials that you can just grind out in game. It doesn't make any sense. But again, this is your money, this is your choice, like, feel free whatever to do. This is just, I'm talking like my mind off, and I'm giving recommendations for, like, from my personal opinion, right? That's all that is. So then we have this pawn shop tab, and yeah, it has different shops. So let's first take a look at the tab Bass Counter. Here you can buy a bunch of stuff, and there's actually some value here because you can buy unilogs here. 10 unilogs in fact per month. That's a 10 pull per month. Splendid. That is something that you should, every single month you should buy these 10 unilogs for sure. Now, of course, you need Track of the Lost, and how you obtain this material is by pulling for characters, and whenever you would get an additional copy for a 5-star that you already have 5 copies for, you would gain this material here, or you get it per temple. I'm actually not entirely sure how you obtain this, but just by simply pulling for characters, you will get this at some point, and you will get enough of this, no matter how much you pull, to gain these 10 unilogs every single month. That will be no problem. And yeah, there are 2 other materials that are also worth buying in the shop, and this is MF polarization and LF polarization. Now, these are not really grindable, and these materials, they can get really scarce. So obtaining them from shops whenever you can is actually recommended. Then yeah, there is one item here that could be a little bit of a bait, and you could fall for this bait quite easily, and this is this Seed of Inspiration. Now, of course, it depends a tiny little bit if you're a new player or not, because if you're a completely new player and you didn't even unlock the Reveries in the Rain gameplay mode, then you could actually consider buying this. But yeah, then also, if you are that new, you shouldn't spend these resources on anything else but the unilogs. Yeah, so forget what I just said. Don't buy this, right? You get this for free in Reveries of the Rain from beating stages and from the trance mechanic that resets. It gives you this stuff for free, so don't buy that. All you buy, unilogs and the polarizations. Now let's check out the treble counter here. Yeah, this is a little bit more expensive. Those you also obtain these Album of the Lost by pulling for characters, but those are scarce. So spend them wisely. Only ever spend them if you really desperately need a unilog or 2 to do a 10 pull for a must pull character, or a character that you really want or need, right? Then you go here and buy unilogs with these Album of the Lost. Everything else is not recommended. There is value in buying these Sinuous Howl, horse echo, hypocritical murmur, and interlaced shudder, because those are also quite scarce materials and you need them to max out your resonance. But I would advise you to wait for crystal caskets, use them to upgrade your resonance, and hold back on buying these materials in this shop right here, and only use this shop to obtain yourselves the Unilogs. Then we have this tab called drop counter. This is only for you to figure out how much clear drops a Unilog is, right? That's all it is, so you can understand the exchange rate. Then we can move on to the fragment shop. Now here is something really important, because here you will be able to buy gluttony, 2 gluttonies per month, and you need to buy them every single month, no matter what. Here they are. You never want to miss out on those. And yeah, this is the shop for Psycubes, of course. And there are some Psycubes here that have higher value than others. Of course, like, look at the character that you want to play and get the signature Psycube for the character that you want to play. For example, if you play Flutter Page, you get this one here. Like, you literally see the Flutter Page picture on the hand of time. You buy this if you play Flutter Page. If you play Carcania, you see Carcania's picture here, you buy this for Carcania. But still, in case the signature Psycube for your desired character is not here in this shop, then there are other very good options, and there are Psycubes here that have more value than others. I made a dedicated video telling you what Psycubes have the most value in this shop. I made a video about showcasing the best in slot Psycube for each individual character in this game, and I made sure to not only name the best in slot, but to ensure that there's also a mention from from the best Psycube to purchase here in this shop for your desired character. Just to give you an example, this Psycube right here, Luxurious Leisure, has very high value. Why? Because this is a best in slot Psycube for multiple very good and high ranked characters in this game. Another example would be the Psycube Hopscotch, right? But you get the point. Figure which character you want a Psycube for, then check if their signature Psycube is here in the shop. If so, buy it. If not, go to my video and check out which of those Psycubes available here in the shop is the best in slot for your desired character. And that's about it. Let's move on to Oneiric shop. Here there's only a crystal casket that you should buy. There are 2 crystal caskets you can buy here per month. Always get them no matter what. If you have the resources and if you are in need, then you can also buy Moments of Dissonance, Brief Cacophony, Sonorous Knell, I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry, but yeah, you see what I mean. Those are the 3 items that you could also spend your resources on in this Oneiric shop. Don't forget about the crystal caskets too. Every single month, 2 of those must buy. Then Nostalgia shop. Here there's really nothing you should buy here. Of course, again, you can buy MF polarization, LF polarizations if you want. Or like, really, here, this is a shop if you have these materials called Bundle of Light. Like, honestly, buy here whatever you need at the time. There's nothing here that really sticks out, or there's nothing here that you shouldn't buy. So whatever you need, see if it's here, and if it's here, then just go ahead and buy it. Then we have the Wilderness shop. Yeah, this is just for looks, so that you can design your wilderness. So yeah, you can buy whatever you want here. Make sure that you don't spend clear drops though. Always buy stuff that you want, that you find good looking here for these wilderness shells and nothing else. You have this Vision of Yesterday. You can buy entire theme packs here. So yeah, design your wilderness however you want, if you want. There is this section called Fluffs Selections. Here is this very, very important. I mean, not very, very important, but this has more value than the other two tabs. So, in order for you to set up your wilderness efficiently and have a good production using your critters, you always want to buy every week, not every month, but every week, these entwined winders and the jig-jog candies whenever they are on a sale. You get minus 50% on price here, right? So you save resources, and you want to do this every single week with these two items. The rest of your resources is saved to buy time warp watches. If you want a little bit of a deeper dive into what I exactly talking about here, I made a video called how to train your critter, so go ahead and watch that if you want more information on this kind of stuff here. And that's about this shop. There's of course this tab here called Echoes of Rain, but you don't need to purchase these crystal drops for anything. You can completely ignore this stuff. Same for the glow house. Don't buy anything in the miracle mart unless, yeah, we talked about the Become Bloom skin and stuff, right? Unless there's something you really, really want because, oh yeah, you are in love with this stuff. So then it's cool, but otherwise stay away from this. Then there's one more thing I want to talk to you about, because every version we get a story mode here, and this story mode has a shop that you always want to buy out. You want to empty this entire shop every single time a new version and a new story drops, but there's still some emphasis to be made here on stuff like you always buy the wilderness stuff, right? You buy the Unilogs, you buy the Gluttonies, you buy the Crystal Caskets, and you buy the available, if available, Psycube here in this story. Those are like the must purchases, but it is recommended to grind the story out until you completely emptied out the entire store of every story in every version. And there you go. That was all I wanted to tell you about when it comes to these shops in this game right here. I hope this video was fun and informative. If you like Reverse 1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate that. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.